Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Quick question before we get started. Have you ever experienced betrayal or cheating in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. I never imagined that the woman I married, the mother of my children, could betray me in such a way that it would shatter not only my trust but also the very foundation of our family. It all started in such an ordinary, innocent way that I didn't even see the storm coming. My wife had been working at the post office for years. It was a steady job, nothing glamorous, but it provided security, and she seemed comfortable there. Then came the transfer. She was moved to a new office, and almost immediately, she started coming home with stories. Stories about her new colleagues, about how different things were compared to her old place, and most of all, about one particular man. Her supervisor. At first, it wasn't anything alarming. She mentioned him casually, usually in the context of disagreements. According to her, they just didn't see eye to eye. He had his way of running things, she had her way of doing her job, and the two often clashed. I brushed it off. Every workplace has conflicts. People don't always get along, and I assumed that was all it was. But I should have paid closer attention to the tone in her voice whenever she spoke about him. There was something sharp but also emotional, like she wasn't just annoyed. She was invested. Looking back now, I realized that was the first red flag. Then came the lunch. Apparently, her boss suggested that she and the supervisor settle their differences over a meal. And from what she told me, that's exactly what they did, except the disagreement wasn't resolved. Instead, something else began. Something much darker. I didn't know it at the time, of course. I was living my life like nothing was wrong. We had our routines, our family dinners, our weekends. But behind my back, in quiet conversations, in texts I would never see, an emotional affair was already taking root. I only learned about it because of the most unexpected source, my own son. He happened to glance at her phone one evening while she was texting. He saw the messages. He read enough to understand that what was happening wasn't just casual chatter between colleagues. It was intimate, it was personal, and it was wrong. Shocked and confused, he went straight to his sister and told her what he had seen. My daughter, furious, confronted her mother. And that's when my wife finally decided to tell me. She came to me, acting as if she was being open, confessing before I found out some other way. But even then, she twisted the truth. She admitted she had been talking to someone, admitted that it had become too close, too personal. But she didn't say who. She didn't admit that it was her supervisor, the man she had supposedly despised just weeks earlier. And for a while, I believed her. I wanted to believe her. I told myself that maybe it had been a harmless mistake, a small slip that hadn't gone too far. But deep down, something inside me already knew I didn't have the full story. And I had no idea just how much worse it was going to get. After that so-called confession, I tried to convince myself it was nothing. She told me it was just talking, just a mistake that wouldn't happen again. I wanted to believe her because the alternative was unbearable. But then, I started noticing things. Her phone was suddenly always with her. Before, she'd leave it on the counter or in her bag without a second thought. Now it was glued to her hand. If she wasn't holding it, it was face down on the table. Notifications came in at odd hours, and every time they did, she'd tilt the screen away from me. When I asked about it, she'd laugh it off. "It's just work," she'd say. But if it was just work, why did her face light up every time? Why did she seem different, more alive? Meanwhile, when she looked at me, her eyes seemed colder, distant. 3 months passed. And then I stumbled across something I wish I hadn't. Through sheer persistence, and honestly a bit of desperation, I discovered that she'd been speaking to him for at least 3 hours a day. 3 hours. Every single day. And countless text messages. That's not just talking. That's a relationship. The worst part? She had tried to cover her tracks. She deleted everything. Every conversation. Every message. Even the contact wasn't saved under his real name. She had changed it to something else. She wanted me in the dark. She wanted to keep her world with him separate from her world with me. Do you know how humiliating it feels to realize that the woman you thought you knew better than anyone else has a whole secret life right under your nose? That while you're working, providing, being a father, she's laughing, sharing secrets, maybe even confessing her feelings to another man? I confronted her again. This time I came armed with what I had found. I told her I knew it was her supervisor. I told her I knew it wasn't just casual. She broke down, cried, begged me to believe that it was only emotional, that nothing physical had ever happened. But how could I believe that? She had already lied by omission. She had hidden everything from me. She had deleted evidence. She had manipulated the truth so carefully that I had to dig for scraps just to piece the story together. If she could do all that, why wouldn't she go further? That question has haunted me every single day since. This all happened back in 2021 and 2022. You'd think that by now, time would have dulled the pain, that I'd have healed. But the truth still eats me alive. Every time I look at her, every time I see her smile, I can't stop wondering, who else has seen that smile? Who else has she given her attention, her affection, her laughter to? Was it really just talking? Or did it cross the line into something physical? Did she kiss him? Did they meet after work? Did they touch? I'll never know. And that uncertainty is killing me more than the truth ever could. You see, I never got to read the messages. She made sure of that. She deleted them all, wiped the slate clean so I couldn't uncover what was said. All I had were fragments, things my son accidentally saw, things I pieced together, the inconsistencies in her stories. My son, God, I think about him a lot. He was old enough to understand what he saw, old enough to know it wasn't right. He's carrying that burden too. And one day he'll get married. One day, he might come to me and ask, Dad, what would you do if your wife betrayed you like this? And what can I say? That it destroyed me? That I stayed anyway, even while it tore me apart inside? How can I give him advice when I can't even find peace myself? At night, when the house is quiet, my mind runs wild. I replay everything. The laughter she had when she texted. The secrecy, the sudden change in her habits. I imagine what those conversations must have been like. I imagine them laughing about inside jokes, sharing details of their lives, maybe even talking about me. The man she vowed to love and honor, reduced to just a footnote in her double life. And the cruelest part? She swears nothing physical happened. She says it with tears in her eyes, swearing on everything she loves. But when trust is broken, words mean nothing. Her denial doesn't comfort me. It tortures me. Because I'll never know if she's telling the truth or just another version of a lie. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the crazy one. Maybe I'm obsessing too much. Maybe I'm blowing things out of proportion. But then I think back to how hard she worked to cover it up. The deleted texts, the changed contact names, the fake confessions. And I realize, no, I'm not crazy. She made sure I wouldn't know the whole story. Why? If it was truly innocent, why hide it? Why delete everything? Why lie about who it was? Why spend hours every single day on conversations she wouldn't want me to see? The truth is, I'll never get answers to those questions. And that's the part that makes this feel like a life sentence. I'm trapped in my own head, replaying the past over and over, searching for clues, for hints, for something that will either confirm my worst fears or finally put them to rest. But it never comes. And in that silence, in that void, my imagination becomes my enemy. Some days I want to scream at her. I want to demand the truth no matter how much it hurts. Other days I'm too tired to fight. I just keep my mouth shut, pretend everything is fine, and go through the motions of a normal marriage. But it's not normal. Not anymore. The trust is gone. The bond we had has been poisoned. And even if she never touched him, even if it truly was only emotional, the betrayal feels just as deep. Because she gave him something that was supposed to belong to me. Her time, her attention, her heart. And once that's gone, can you ever really get it back? It's been years now, and I'm still living in the shadow of what happened. I wish I could say I've moved on, that I've forgiven or at least forgotten. But the truth is I haven't. I don't know if I ever will. Sometimes I think about leaving, about packing my things, walking away, and starting over. But then I think about my kids, about the family we built together. I wonder if leaving would only cause them more pain, more confusion. So I stay. I stay even though inside, I feel like a ghost of who I used to be. I don't trust her anymore. Not fully. Maybe not at all. I watch her not because I want to, but because I can't help it. Every phone call, every text, every time she laughs a little too hard at her screen, I notice, and I hate that I've become this way. Suspicious, paranoid, broken. But the worst part? She acts like it's all in the past. Like I should be over it by now. She tells me I'm holding on to something that wasn't even real. But to me, it was real. It still is. The pain, the doubt, the sleepless nights. That's as real as it gets. And so here I am, years later, still asking myself the same question. What really happened between her and that man? Did she cross the line? Did she betray me in the one way she swears she didn't? I'll never know. And maybe that's the cruelest punishment of all. Because sometimes, not knowing hurts more than the truth ever could. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to support the channel. It really helps a lot. Wishing you an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.